Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, your superstore for rock salt, sand, Pelledo, mag ice pellets and flakes, spreaders, shovels. You can see them there. You might need ladder too, just in case. Snow blowers, all there. De-icing for your car, for your windshield washer fluid, and so many other things that you certainly can use to make sure that your home or your business is clean and safe during this winter season. And since we do have winter storm watches up for much of the New York, New Jersey tri-state area, this might be a good time to get what you need at Omni. 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. 631-756-1125 is the phone number. The website is omnitruevalue.com. So let's run through what's going on. Obviously, there are no issues today. We have a day of sunshine, and we're going to have temperatures that will be generally in the 20s to around 30. And then on Friday, we'll start to see clouds increase as this storm system will be moving up the East Coast. So this is what the Weather Prediction Center, folks, this is what they're doing. And I'm going to just go through several probabilities for you. This is the probability of at least 2 inches, okay? At least 2. I had somebody with a map. You saw a map yesterday that said at least 3 and concluded that I was only forecasting 3 inches. It's at least 2 inches. And in the salmon area, it's an 80% probability. I usually like to use wherever the 50% line is probably a pretty good gauge of where you'll see at least an inch or two. And that goes all the way back into northwest New Jersey and into southeastern PA, west of Philadelphia, but not quite to Harrisburg, maybe almost to Lancaster. And you can see that 2-inch line goes all the way down into northeastern Virginia. Now, WPC folks have beefed it up last night. The probability of at least 4 covers a pretty wide area from northeastern North Carolina all the way up into southern New England and into also southeastern New England, where we have the highest probabilities of at least 4, running in the 95% range or higher. And we also have a fairly high probability of at least 8 being indicated by WPC. And the back edge of 8 is northwest Connecticut, down to about southern Westchester County, New York City, just crossing near Staten Island and running down through New Jersey and continuing down into Delaware. And you can see that there's a higher percentage here set up for southeastern New England down to Rhode Island and just offshore eastern Long Island. And just for laughs, we can even show you the probability of at least a foot, which we don't see very often in these snow situations that we have here in our neck of the woods, but a rather high 50% probability of at least 12 for Suffolk County on Long Island, eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, eastern Massachusetts, which includes Boston, by the way, New Bedford, all the way down around into the Cape. So they're talking about a 70% probability of at least 12. And the 40%, the dark blue, goes all the way back down into southern Delaware and on up into the northern part of the Delmarva Peninsula. So it's a pretty aggressive forecast here from the Weather Service with regard to what's going on. Winter storm watches are up for areas from southeastern New England right down through the southern counties of Connecticut, mainly south of Route 84, all of Long Island, New York City, Westchester County. They do not include the counties of northern and northwest New Jersey, at least for now. I don't think that we're going to see warnings get extended too far north and west, so those areas probably will go under some kind of advisory. Watches for central and south Jersey. Southeastern Pennsylvania in a small area just north and west of Philadelphia is where it cuts off. And then we have watches up for Delaware, the Delmarva Peninsula, and down through Virginia and into eastern North Carolina, where they've been part of what I've always, been referring to as the jackpot zone when it comes to this sort of stuff. So here's how I think it's going to play out, and we'll come back to that map in just a minute, and we'll talk about snow amounts that the Weather Service is going for. And first off, we still are kind of wrestling with the idea of why the GFS has been doing what it's doing, where it's been the furthest right of all the models, but one of the things that we saw overnight was that all of the models, all of the other models anyway, were very, very close to each other. And even the GFS came back a little bit to the left. So I don't know if that means that it's starting to catch on a little bit to what the others are doing. But at the end of the day, it's right now it is pretty much standing alone. The NAM model from overnight, remember we had that hiccup yesterday afternoon where the NAM came in and pitched an absolute shutout for everybody. And it's been, I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, it's done that a few times with certain systems, and it just sort of makes everything disappears and then suddenly reappears, or the other way around. But anyway, the overnight runs, it came back. You see it here, pushing snow up to the north and west. The darker blue snows right near the coast. I think they're all just sort of kind of coalescing into the same place, which is somewhere to the west of 70 degrees west and to the southwest of 40 degrees north is where the low center wants to go. And again, it's all about that upper low that we've been talking about. So here's how it plays out for late tomorrow and tomorrow night. We have this dying Arctic front that's coming by. We might start to see maybe a little bit of light snow fire up during the afternoon and evenings. That may be real, it may not be real, or it may be aloft, it may not be reaching the ground. And then gradually as we go into tomorrow night, snow will be increasing and spreading out across North Carolina, Virginia. This is at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, southern New Jersey. And then we'll start to get into it 1 o'clock in the morning to about New York City. And then by 4 a.m., it's in the Boston area with the low moving northward. And now, of course, with the low intensifying, you can see the northern part of that snow shield pushes a little bit north. I'm worried about where the western edge is. I thought it would be on the Pennsylvania-New Jersey state line. It's a little bit further north and west than that, and it runs up the Hudson Valley, doesn't quite reach up to Albany. And then by tomorrow afternoon, and this is the radar presentation, by the way, the NAM starts to pull it out. You have heavy snows, though, going on during the day tomorrow. It'll probably, the heaviest snow will be in the morning to early afternoon in the New Jersey, New York City, tri-state area. And again, the heaviest is going to be on the coast or on Long Island, southern Connecticut. And then for southeastern New England, you'll see heaviest snows late in the morning and during the afternoon into tomorrow night. It all tapers off and ends tomorrow evening and tomorrow night from west to east. And then it's a windy and cold Sunday that follows. So it's going to play out in that fashion and be rather orderly, I think. I would kind of expect that the models might come in just a little bit more. They'll tighten up some more, but I'm pretty confident here in the overall forecast. Now, in terms of snow amounts, this was the probability from yesterday. Let me just get the right map up. I've made so many different maps this morning. So here are some of the snow amounts that are going on in terms of the forecast, and we're looking at an inch or two in North Carolina, 3 or 4 inches in parts of southeastern Virginia, the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area about 2 to 3, and then you start to see some higher amounts, particularly in southern Delaware. And it's right along the New Jersey coast, east of the Garden State Parkway, that I think that you have the highest probability of, say, 8 inches or more. The Weather Service numbers are a little bit higher than mine that I had on my first call snow forecast map, and here are the numbers further up the coast. 8 for New York City is what they're going for, 11 for Islip, 12 for Riverhead, Providence 12, Boston 12, out on the Cape a foot and a half. New York, that 8 is probably more for Newark than it is for New York, or actually maybe for Staten Island. 6 for New York City, 7 for White Plains, 8 for Bridgeport. Notice in Northwest Jersey you start to get the amounts down to 4 to 3, and then some 2s in Eastern Pennsylvania. That's the area that you're going to have the most difficulty with respect to figuring out what the amounts there are because of that very, very sharp western edge. That is going to mean that over a handful of miles, you're going to go from nothing to a coating to a couple of inches to several to many inches. And where that line sets up is probably where people will wind up complaining the most, thinking they were going to get something or getting less or the other way around. I'm thinking that it looks to me that we could probably push that line at least to the Pennsylvania New Jersey border and maybe even a little bit beyond that, but not much beyond that. And of course, if you're further west into Pennsylvania and into Maryland, we're talking about a coating to an inch or so, and that's more from the Arctic front than anything else. So we'll be updating things throughout the day. My weather app, my free weather app, the meteorologist Joe Cioffi weather app, is available on Google Play or on the App Store, and it has every National Weather Service snow forecast map from Maine to Georgia. And they update when the Weather Service updates. They update automatically. Plus, you get my weather updates every day, your local weather, your local radar loops, satellite loops, severe weather from SPC, and so much more. And it's all free. So download it and use it to get you through this winter storm. Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware with everything you need to make sure your home or business is get all cleaned up and free of snow and ice. 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. 631-756-1125 is the telephone number. And the website is omnitruevalue.com. So tonight, the Joe and Joe Weather Show. If you missed it, you can watch it on my YouTube channel, Joe Cioffi. I'll just look for it in the library. It should be right up near the top. We had meteorologist Bill Goodman and Bill Corbell, formerly retired from News 12. Bill Goodman, currently of National Weather Service Upton. Tonight, we're going to have meteorologist Tony Gigi, retired from National Weather Service Mount Holly, to lend his perspective on this winter storm as it moves up the East Coast. So that's at 7:30 Eastern Time. We hope to see you then.